I'm a big fan of the mixed media style and I really love creating this kind of effect. In this video we're going to break down how to make this exact mixed media look in just a few minutes. Welcome back to our channel and let's get started. So I'm already in After Effects and I've split the clip into 3 parts to show different methods for mixed media. Let's start with the first one. Select the clip and then we need to choose the roto brush tool. Double click on the clip. Now we need to separate our character from the background. You can do this for absolutely any object. Just start selecting and now the roto brush will begin working. You can add or remove different areas by holding Alt or Option if you unmark. Here we don't need to be super precise so that the edges are rough and the final result looks like a real object on a real paper. When everything is ready, we can add a feather to the edges. You can follow me and set feather to 10. Then click the freeze button, wait a little, and now our roto brush effect won't reanalyze each frame. Now we have a cutout character. Duplicate the roto layer and delete the roto brush effect from the lower one. Select our character, right-click and choose Pre-compose. Make sure you choose Move all attributes into the new composition and call it, for example, Roto 1. Select our roto layer and the background, right-click again and pre-compose them. I call it like F1, which means Fragment 1. Now we go inside this composition. We did it so that's easier to manage different effects in the future, add elements and have everything in one composition. It just makes controlling things easier. Duplicate the roto layer and apply the paper outline effect to the lower layer. This effect we created in one of the previous videos. You can watch that or just skip it and you can download it absolutely free. I leave a link below this video. Right away we got a super cool paper effect around our character. Now we need to copy the roughen edges effect and paste it onto the top roto layer. I already like it and now I want to add some different elements to the background. The first one will be simple lines. Create a new solid layer and name it grid. Then add the grid effect. We only need horizontal lines, so just move the value in corner until there is only one central line left. Then grab the center point and just move it to the left, or you can do it through anchor point. You can also slightly increase the line thickness. I'll set border to 12. Click the stopwatch next to corner while holding Alt or Option if you unmark and write wiggle expression to create movement for the lines. You can also change the values to make the movement slower or faster. So create a new adjustment layer and edit under the grid layer. You can call it blur. Then add the Fastbox blur effect and set radius to 3. Create another adjustment layer and edit above the blur effect. Call it like color. Add the Lumetri color effect. Now in the curves we can make our background darker or brighter if you want, or just play around with different settings, reduce contrast, fill it with color and so on. Now I want to create a shape, so I'll choose red color, go to shapes, select the star and just edit. You can make it huge. I like it when it's slightly larger than our character. Also play the star below our roto layers. Press R on the keyboard to open rotation for the layer, set the first keyframe and go to the end of the composition and set it to around 145. Now duplicate the star and apply our paper outline effect to the bottom layer. Again, remember, you can download it for free below this video. Copy the roughen edges effect and paste it onto the top layer with the star. Of course, right now it looks kind of weird and rough, but the final result will be really cool. Since this is a mixed media effect, I like to add an animated stickers, which will just look super fun. By the way, I'll be using our huge pack of animated stickers, more than 300 different stickers that you can use in projects like mixed media, so I leave a link below this video on this project. Check it out and try our stickers in your next project. So let's add this crown, let's make it smaller and place it above the character's head. Press P to open position settings. We need to animate the crown and just move it where the head is approximately. I'll be doing it every 3 or 4 frames, no need to be precise here, just do it quickly so it doesn't take much time. Then just duplicate the crown and continue creating position keyframes until the end of our composition. When everything is ready, select all crown layers, right-click and choose Pre-compose. I'll call it simply crown, duplicate the crown layer and apply the paper outline effect to the bottom layer like we did earlier, but here I want to increase the value for chalkmate to make the crown more visible, and like before, copy the roughen edges effect and paste it onto the top crown layer. Looks strange right now, but we are almost done. Let's add one more effect, create a new adjustment layer and add the fastbox blur effect. Set radius to around 2 or whichever you prefer. And now it's time for the secret sauce that will give our weird composition a super cool mixed media effect. This plugin is called Novel Pro by Jagnetics and I'm happy to show it to you. Check the link below this video and get an exclusive 10% discount from us. So after installing Novel Pro, we go to Window, then Extensions and select Novel Pro. We get this plugin window, let's begin and I'll walk you through everything about Novel Pro. Click Launch and we instantly get an incredible result. Here you can control some parameters like exposure and grain and also set the frame rate. The available options are 8, 12 and 18, but of course my favorite frame rate for mixed media is 8. Then we can add different levels of shake effect, I'll go with the low. There is also flicker, but in this tutorial I won't be adding that. Now in the tint section you can pick the different color styles, for example black and white, RGB tones, or turn it off completely and get the original colors of your image. I'll choose tint off. The RGB effect gives you different looks for your footage. I like using RGB, but honestly this effect works best when tint is set to black and white. You can also turn off all the effects and make some changes. Let me increase the exposure a bit and then click confirm. Now we go back to the main composition and I found a really cool way to take things even better and enhance our mixed media effect. Add the Lumetri color effect, go into basic correction, set saturation to 60, contrast to -50, highlights to -15 and shadows to -30. Also make the image a bit warmer and this is our result. I absolutely love how it turned out. Now we can go into the composition and add more effects or remove them. For example, I'll add a tint effect to our background. I'll set the midtones to an orange or retro yellow tone. Using Lumetri color curves, you can make the background darker or brighter. Basically, you can go crazy here and create some really wild looks. And here is our final result for the first fragment. And in my opinion, it looks insanely cool. Let's move to the second part. This one will be much easier and faster. We select the clip, right click and choose Pre-compose, I call it F2. Now we go inside this composition. For this version I don't want to separate our character from the background, I'll just add some text on top. Let's write something like mixed media. Now go to Window, Extensions and again choose Novel Pro. Click Launch and we instantly get insanely cool result in seconds. The best part is that you can keep adding more elements or effects and instantly see the result. Let's duplicate the text layer and on the bottom layer we apply the paper outline effect. Now let's copy the roughen edges effect and paste it onto the top text layer. Let's increase the chalkmate value, I'll set to around -15. Now let's set the Novel Pro settings. I'll choose again 8 FPS. I think this frame rate is the best for the mixed media. And turn off flicker. I leave the rest of the settings and let's increase exposure and reduce the grain amount. Click confirm and now go back to the main composition. Now we can see how insanely cool it looks. I'll copy the Lumetri color effect and paste it onto our second composition. I think we can decrease the temperature. I'll set it to around 15. And here is our final result. And you know guys, this is a very amazing tool. I think it took a very little time, I guess 30 seconds or 1 minute to create this mixed media effect. Let's move on to the third version, double click on the clip and select the roto brush tool. Just like in the first version, we start by selecting our character and press space so that roto brush starts analyzing everything automatically. You can also remove or add areas just like before. You don't have to be super precise, try to just select the main character, there is no need to trace every hair. When it's done, I'll increase the feather and set it to 10. Then we press the freeze button. Now duplicate the clip and remove the roto brush effect from the bottom layer, select the top layer and pre-compose it. Make sure to choose mobile attributes into the new composition and call it roto 2. Now we duplicate the roto layer again and apply the paper outline effect to the bottom copy. And just like before, we copy the roughen edges effect and paste it on the top roto layer. Now select everything and create a new pre-composition. I call it F3. Now we go inside this composition. I want to replace the background, so I simply delete the bottom layer, create a new solid. You can just use the rectangle tool and double click its icon. Let's place that layer at the very bottom. For now it doesn't matter what color it is. Now add the gradient ramp effect, set the ramp shape to radial ramp. In start of ramp, enter 9020 and 1080. Now we can expand the gradient using the end of ramp values. Let's change the black color to blue and change the white to black. You can make the gradient larger or just leave it like this. Now let's add lines like in our first version. I'll just copy the same layer and place it above the gradient layer. Copy the fuzzbox blur effect with our adjustment layer and paste it on the top of all the layers. We can increase the border value for the lines. I'll set it to around 9. And now let's add some sauce again. Go to Window, Extensions and choose Novel Pro. Click Launch. Right away I'll turn off tint. I'll increase the exposure a bit and reduce the grain. Also set the frame rate to 8 FPS and turn off flicker. Click Confirm. Now go back to the main composition. Copy the Lumetri color effect and paste it onto our composition, and that's it. This is amazing cool tool that can make your editing look way more interesting, and the final result just looks super creative and professional. It's the perfect tool to add some vintage vibes, grid and noise. You can play around and add different animated stickers, some shapes and much more. Novel Pro, I think it truly helps you push your creativity. So check the links below this video for the paper outline effect, animated stickers and of course the link to Novel Pro. If you'd like to support us or if you're looking for transitions, textures, overlays and much more, definitely check out our website. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts or some recommendations if you have in the comments. See you in the next one. Peace.